What's good, guys? This is Justin here with Bakugan, and today we are bringing you the deck profile that I went 8-0 on Thursday with, finishing up today with the cage match with Cimooooo. Stay tuned, that'll be uploaded later on this week, probably tomorrow or Wednesday. But today we have the 3 Bakugan I took. Cimooooo. We were running Trucks Ultra, Serpentines Ultra, and then Fangzor Ultra. We have, for Fangzor, we were running a 650 Magic Shield and a 300 regular shield. And then for Serpentines, we were running a 650 Magic Shield and a 150 Green Fist with 2 damage. This deck does lack damage until you get the Evos out, so you want to get a few of the cores that have high damage rating. And then for our trucks, we have the 300 Helix with 3 damage, and then a 300 shield. And then the base stat for our trucks is 300 with 1 damage, and upon victory, you can play a card from your hand uncharged, or energize a card uncharged. And then for our Fangzor, he is a 600 B power, 1 damage, and he has Shadow Strike. This is very useful. And then for our Serpentines, he is a 400 B power, 3 damage. Which he's more of our heavy hitter in the deck than any of the other ones until you get your Evos out. Alright, so we run 1 Endless Growth. This card's not that great. It kind of is for late game if you just so happen to see it. Same thing with Nature's Blessing. Nature's Blessing is actually, I like Nature's Blessing more than Endless Growth. It's another one of, you get a reroll, and if you open, you get Shadow Strike and 10 damage. Late game, that's really good, especially against these Fury decks. So you have Trox with Winton on the field, that's 20 damage, and then you do this as 30 damage, and hardly any of the Fury decks can get over that. We run Turn to Energy. We want the most energy at all times, because you need your, turbo effects. For cards like this, Crystal Quake. Crystal Quake lets you draw 2 cards. It's a 4-drop. Turbo, neg 700 to an opponent's Bakugan, which is pretty useful. We run 3 of the best 1-drop in the deck as Nature's Power. It's a 1-drop, neg 500 to any non-Ventis. And then back to Turbo, we have a Tropic Blast. It's a neg 200. If you have Turbo, it'd be neg 400. And to make sure we always get Turbo, we're running Winton. You're wanting to drop Winton on turn 2, or not turn 2, turn 3 or 4. You hardly ever get to drop it on turn 2. Most times turn 2 is your setup for your your small Evos. You have to have the small Evos, or this deck just gets blood beat in the face, and you wind up having to go to the end game, and you hope that you didn't take too much damage in the beginning. But we run the 2-drop Trox with 700 B power, 5 damage, and upon victory, you may charge a card in your hand uncharged. Then we run 2 of the big Trox. You're running Winton, and that's the main reason you run this. He's a 5-drop, 20 damage, or 20. He has base stat of 1000 B power, 10 damage. And if Winton's on the field, you get an additional plus 1000 B power, plus 10 damage. There's nothing much more to say about that. He's your beater of the deck. You run 2 Hyper Serpentines Ultras. This card's really good. You play this before you go into your turn, and then you always roll with Serpentines, getting those 2 energy back. So your base stat of him is a 700 B power, 6 damage, and whenever you open, you get to charge 2 energy. And then this card's just absolutely insane. Titan Trox Ultra, or Titan Serpentines Ultra, allows you to uncharge all your energy at once as long as you open. He's a 5-drop, and he has a 1000 base power, 7 damage. Most times, if you have this and Titan Trox in your hand, you should be winning that game. I try to at least have those in hand, especially because you drop this, you hit Serpentines on your team attack, and then you pay 5, go into your Titan Trox, and there's an additional 20 damage right off Titan Trox. For our flips, we play 1 Repel Outsiders. We already play a lot of good flips, so we didn't want to play too many bad flips. We play 3 Tiger Reflex. If you have the most energy, you can stop a non-Ventis attack. And then we move into our Darkus stuff. We have 2 Hyper Fangzor Ultras with a base stat of 1000, and 1000 B power, 3 damage with Shadow Strike. Dark Fortune, it's a 3-drop, search any Evo card from your deck. Unfortunately, you have to run this card because you really want to see your Evos. If you don't see your big Evo by turn 4, and you have this card, unfortunately, you got to search it. More than likely, you don't want to use this card. This card's only there in case you need it. I catch myself a lot of times just using this for energy. Then we run Darkest Slicer. It's a 1-drop for 200 B power. Darkest doesn't have that many good B power boosts, but the only reason we run this one over the other 1-drop is because we do run 1 Green Fist, and we have the chance of running into a Green Fist deck. And if you do, you get that extra damage. Then we run 3 Mind Slip. This card's really good mid to late game. If you miss a roll, you can just re-roll. Or if you hit the wrong chord, you can re-roll. And your opponent has to discard a card. So mid game, it becomes really good because it takes resources out of your opponent's hand. And probably the best card in the whole deck is Pack of Darkness. You have to run through this. If your opponent attacks you, you can either pay 4 energy for a non-Darkest attack, or you can sacrifice by discarding a card and play it for free. So it's probably, it's the best flip in the game. Outside of that, the deck performed very well this weekend. If I had to change anything out of the deck, I would love to find something to replace Dark Fortune with. Outside of that, the deck's great. Love the way it plays. If you have any comments, or if y'all think I can do something better with the deck, leave it down in the comments. Outside of that, thanks for watching, guys. Stay tuned for the next video.